Hello there, Lynx here, and welcome to Lost Girl. Serena here. It's late again. We are probably not late with another upload. I'm late again. I remember to change the color in the background though. Serena ran through her morning routine as if someone had placed an open flame under her feet. She had forgotten her mind, so much filled with other things to set an alarm to wake her up enough time to get to the library upon an opening. Apparently, her entire weekend was going to be spent on forgotten things, her own everyday forgetfulness included. That girl. She wanted to spend as much time as possible there, not only for the sake of planning out her novel, but she also had neglected to study for her classes the day before and figured she'd work on that while she was there. What about the fox girl? She wondered if Layla would be a good study partner, for she assumed that the fox, as a fellow reader, would be much better helping the other pan out her novel. Maybe. Felix, you have to wake me up next time! Oh, there are flip-flops on the ground, by the way. I didn't notice that before. The fox simply stared at her with blank eyes once more, which read as, "And you shouldn't rely on others to wake you up." But it's actually quite true. Because eventually it might bite you in the ass. Which that she couldn't deny. Why was Felix? Why was Felix always so painfully right? Huh, I wonder. Who knows? You know what? Holy crap, I forgot to check one thing. Because there was an update in Streamlabs. But I think it's alright. Funny enough, also DaVinci was updated. Hopefully it will be better now. She honestly didn't know why she was rushing so much. She didn't really have anything pressing to get to today. She herself was setting her own timetable on getting to the library to study both for novel ideas and for her class studies. But the more time she had there, the more she felt she could accomplish. So, running a brush through her hair and grabbing her bag, she bolted out of the door. I hope she's there today. She really didn't like the idea of being surrounded by complete strangers, or being in a dimly lit basement, all alone. Technically, the fox girl is still a stranger of sorts, but whatever. Even a place full of books was intimidating if there was no one you knew around. Even if that person was just someone to fill the void of space that kept you from feeling like you were truly alone. We are in the library. She really did run fast. When Serena walked into the library, she noticed that it was practically the same as yesterday. Even though this was a small suburban town with mostly college students, she found that the library was packed with people. I know what I forgot about again. Also, I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. Or more like I can feel it. I do lose my voice a bit. That's a certain thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if I lost it tomorrow. Because 1, in the morning I'm going to the football field. 2, in the evening I'm gonna be going on a run. Unless I could cover both at the same time. But that doesn't change the fact that I'll be for quite a while outside. And it's getting colder. And yeah. Except the librarian who looked up from behind the front desk to scowl at her before her eyes returned to the top of her desk. Here we go again, the yawning attacks. I should have taken a nap during this Saturday afternoon. She's probably running through a checklist of ways to murder me. Serena mumbled with a weary chuckle to herself. She obviously didn't think the librarian would hurt her at all, but she did have a scowl that made Serena uneasy. Like she was walking on broken eggshells. And she didn't even know the librarian's name. She must have made a very bad first impression. Trying not to think about it, Serena made her way to the stairs. She made her way down gracefully this time. Well, about as gracefully as she could when she was in a hurry to get to the bottom. She managed to get down them without falling down this time, screaming or crying. Huge success. Progress, she thought. Layla, you down here? Serena asked as she cautiously made her way to the back room of forgotten books, peering over bookshelves. As soon as she made it to the back room, she held a hand to her heart and let out a deep sigh of relief. There, in the exact same place she left her yesterday, was Layla. Morning, sleepyhead. Yes, that is my nickname. At this, Serena rolled her eyes. She didn't need yet another person to remind her she overslept, for the first one was a plush toy who never actually said any words aloud. I will so oversleep tomorrow. Whatever, not that she would ever tell Layla or anyone that. Part of me thought you might not show up. And why wouldn't I? I've been coming here for a long time. In fact, it would probably take a miracle to keep me away from this place. As Serena sat down beside her on the carpeted, dusty floor, Serena noticed that Layla had another book half opened in her hand. This book had a black binding and worn silver letters dancing down the spine. She couldn't read the title, but she didn't feel like she needed to. Whatever Layla was reading was her own business. She was honestly just grateful she was here at all. So I have a question for you. Layla looked up from her book and her eyes narrowed cautiously as Serena began to unpack her bag. She pulled out the worn pages of the Starless Magician, her writing notebook, and even her study materials, and laid them all beside her. She settled on putting her notebook in her lap first and tapped a pencil to her lips in thought. And what's that? What do you think makes a good novel? Layla leaned her head back against a bookshelf and closed her eyes, apparently lost in thought. I was totally not yawning right now, okay? I was lost in thought. Serena wondered what she was thinking about exactly for the few minutes the fox had her eyes closed, ranked unlike ours, as the bunny girl waited for a response. But after a few moments, Layla opened her eyes again, looking up toward the concrete ceiling. What makes a good novel to me is the heart that went into it. She makes a good point. I don't particularly care what it's about. Yeah, sometimes you can notice that. What genre it is, whether it's sold or not, whether the author is a good person or a bad person. It's better if they are a good person, though. What I do care about is how much of one's soul I can find within the pages. Because the more soul they put into their work, the more gripping it is. The more real. Serena was completely taken aback by the other's words. She was amazed at how much care the other placed in each word, and how she had never thought of it like that before. So this is the kind of stuff Layla thinks about, she thought. About souls and hearts, whoa. And putting one's true self on the page. Layla really was more than she appeared, Serena pondered. So if someone just puts their soul into their heart, then you consider it good? I consider it worthy of being read. Understandable. Which is about as good as you can get with books. I see. Thanks. Serena wrote that down in her notebook, wondering just what her soul would want her to write. It's not like she had anyone to ask. Her family never understood literature, and Layla surely didn't know her enough to know what someone of her caliber would be able to write. Once again she began to ponder where she should begin. If it's from your heart, then I'm sure anything you write will be good. But you can't do anything until you start. That's true as well. And Layla was right again. How could she start her novel if she never started writing? Perhaps the simple solution was simply to just write and see if what she wrote had any substance. And perhaps the story would work itself out from there. Can I ask you another question? Well, it's more of a request. Sure. Anything. Will you read what I write once it's done? Tell me what you think. Layla looked astonished that the other, as sure as she was, would ask such a thing to her, a fox who she barely knew. But perhaps Layla had underestimated Serena. Wait, why am I doing this voice? Whatever. But perhaps Layla underestimated Serena. Of course. Plus. But why me? Serena looked down her notebook, setting her pen to paper as she began to rack her brain for ideas. I don't have any friends here. And my family, well, they aren't exactly the scholarly type. I mean, it's not like you need to be scholarly type for a book, I would say. Her family grew up poor and couldn't afford much schooling. She was the only one in her family she could recall that had any interest in reading or writing. Her family all had hobbies of their own, for hobbies she herself couldn't quite grasp. But they couldn't quite grasp hers either. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories or anything. No. It's nothing like that. I'm just being honest for when I say it out loud. It does sound rather lonely. The bunny frowned as she stared at her notebook, unable to conjure up a sentence for the moment. She had family back home, but she had no one here. She was chasing her dreams, but was it really okay to chase her dreams? All alone? Probably not. Maybe? Who knows? Would it make her happy? I mean, I see nothing wrong about chasing your dreams. Serena didn't know. If it makes you feel any better, I'm alone too. I don't have any friends, or even any siblings for that matter. I don't have siblings as well. And my parents are almost never home, so I've pretty much grown up by myself. Huh. I mean, I guess I understand that part. My parents were around only in the evenings. And, you know, it's not like I have a problem with that, right? I just get how it works. Serena looked over at the other with watery eyes. She couldn't believe the other had gone through something so lonely, so painful. She wanted to reach out and give the other a hug, for she thought that might be inappropriate with how little they knew each other. I'm so sorry. That must be awful. Layla shrugged like it was no big deal. But Serena could see the pain in her eyes when she talked about it. She couldn't even begin to know what it was like to have parents that were never home, that never waited up for you, but never missed you. Oh, I mean, she never said anything like in the way of the parents not missing their daughter. They sure do, right? Why did I not freaking bother to get rid of this freaking thing out of the monitor for so long? I would say they definitely miss her. I mean, why wouldn't they? They are her parents. She's their daughter, right? I mean, we don't know her situation as well. Maybe it's like in freaking my case it was, right? Where my parents basically worked their asses off. And, you know, I think it's a situation normal for a lot of families. Anyway, it's not all that bad. I can basically do whatever I want. I guess that is also the truth in this situation. But then again, as I explained before, like, even though they weren't home, right? I mean, technically I wasn't home myself for a long time as well. Like until I was 16, right? It was basically school and then to the football grounds to train. Hell yeah. Man, I miss going to the freaking training ground so much. Anyway. For I suppose that's not always a good thing. Too much of a good thing was too much of a good thing. Doing whatever you wanted all the time would be fun, but it would also make being unable to do things extremely difficult, and it could also make you do rush things for the sake of your own greed. Yeah. I'm a greedy person as well. For she believed Layla wouldn't be the type to do anything bad. Not that Syrian really knew her much at all for. I mean, just because someone is greedy doesn't mean they will do something bad. There is also that point. But to have no one to spend all those adventures with, that seems sad. An idea hit Layla then, like a meteor striking the earth. That was not the sound, but whatever. She seemed to be shining so brightly, but then her face fell all at once. Serena expected her to say something, but she was deathly quiet. Come on. Come on, girl, say it. What is it? No. Forget it. But Serena wasn't the type to let other things go unsaid. She was the curious type who always wanted answers, always dug until she got them. That's kind of childish trait, isn't it? Children would go like, come on, tell me. No. Tell me. No. Tell me. Okay. It got her into quite a bit of trouble as a child. Sorry, I need to get rid of another sticker from the monitor. Why did I not get rid of those straight after buying that? I mean, I have this monitor for so long already. I actually still was working in a goddamn sports store when I got this because the other kind of died. And then it worked again, so I was working on 3 screens, which was freaking awesome. Maybe we'll return to that at some point. Anyway. Please tell me. I promise I won't make fun of you. Serena gave her those innocent eyes, and Layla let out a sigh in defeat. She placed the same felt bookmark in her book as the day before and closed it shut. I don't have any book here, okay? Sorry. She set aside, getting the feeling that this conversation was going to take up more time than she thought, and she wouldn't be able to read for at least a little while. I was just thinking, what if we went on adventures together? At the suggestion, Serena found her eyes light up just as Layla's had. What was it like to go on adventures with someone else? Yeah, I wonder. Holy crap. Anyone want to go on an adventure? Neither of the two, from what they had said, had ever known. That sounds amazing! Her face beamed like a ray of sunlight, her mind already whirling through possibilities. Well, my technically solo adventure has been destroyed by the events of beginning of 2020. Unfortunately. There are so many places I've always wanted to go to, but Mama and Papa could never leave work or leave my brothers behind to go. Okay, so your situation was the same. Your parents were at work. But I guess the siblings were around, so she wasn't alone. But yeah. And I had every opportunity to go to places. But going someplace alone just feels like it defeats the purpose, doesn't it? I mean, I still would like that my solo trip of 2020 would came to fruition back in the day, but I mean, I guess there might be someone I might want to travel with instead, like if I were to choose solo or if someone, yeah, I would go someone, but let's not get into it. I know what you mean. It's lonely. Yeah, it might be lonely. They both brooded on the thought for a brief moment, but Serena didn't want to let that spoil the moment for any opportunities this possibility could potentially bring them. So, where do you want to go first? Hey, wait a minute. You're just gonna go? Just like that? Serena laughed, nodding. She dismissed the other's concerns with a wave of her hand. I know we don't know each other all that well, but it's a good chance to start. Besides, you've had plenty of chance to murder me and you didn't. Though you did almost eat me when we first met. I told you that was a joke. That's a rather drastic analysis for. That definitely might get you in trouble one of those days. Tell you what, if I ever feel like you're doing anything suspicious, or that I don't trust you, then I'll run and turn you in myself. I'm quite a fast runner if I do say so myself. Huh. Who'd be faster, a rabbit or a fox, I wonder. Okay. Never mind, there was a comment on YouTube that popped up. Come on. I'll look at it later on the PC. Rabbit running speed. Okay, European rabbit, 40 kilometers per hour. Nice. Fox running speed. For when it comes to rabbits, they are very agile as well, right? Okay, it depends on the fox as well, right? So the red fox, 50 kilometers per hour, and I have no idea what would be the translation for the other one, because it shows up in Polish for some reason. Like Virginia fox, whatever, something like that. It can go 68 kilometers per hour. Holy crap. So here's the thing, I don't know how agile the foxes are. Because rabbits can basically maneuver side to side really fast, right? As well. So there is also that aspect. So maybe she would manage to run away. I don't know. Anyway, there was also something else I thought, but I forgot already. Oh, actually, last winter, while I was running, and it is in the middle of the city, I did have a fox in my path. I think 2 of them actually. I'm definitely sure of one, because it was like in the middle of the path. I think there was second one, like kind of in the bushes. And yeah, it was the first time I actually saw like a completely black fox. Crazy. I just clapped the hand and it ran away to the bushes, but yeah. And I continued running. For to be fair, when I'm running past there is quite there's been quite a few situations where I would hear something moving in those bushes, and I think it might have been those foxes still, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they had their own like nest over there. Considering there's also like a super small river right next to. I guess that's possible. Anyway, despite the road being like right there, well, I'm also pretty fast, you know. Think you can outrun me? Let's hope we never have to find out. They both laugh at that, the mood going from dark to light. They began to use the rest of their time that day planning what they would do with their next evening of free time, where they would explore. By the end of the day, Serena had finally made plans with a potential friend tomorrow evening, after class. In fact, she had managed to study quite a bit of her dual textbooks, and she even wrote down a potential opening paragraph for her novel. Things were beginning to look up. You know what I think? This is a good moment to end the episode then. I mean, this is the next day, we've finished that previous one. Let's end it here, and we will continue in the next episode, which will be out tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.